Hello again, viewers, and welcome back to our Abnormality presentations. Congratulations on becoming a Level 2 employee! I hope that you're ready to have fun with all the benefits that you gain with being a Level 2 employee as well, such as longer hours, increased challenges at work, and above all else, more training. Since the making of our last presentation, we've decided to up the budget and provide video examples of all our new abnormalities. No need to worry though, all the employees shown in the video are trained actors, and these scenarios are completely fake. Any and all special effects are courtesy to the Welfare Department employees. Please give them some thanks after this video. On another note, with some unfortunate news, the employee that wrote the notes in the previous presentation has been terminated from this company. Due to an unforeseen containment breach, the previous employee has decided to sacrifice themselves in the name of the company. Our most dedicated worker, Porch, you will be missed. Let's move into our first topic of the day, Qliphoth meltdowns. What exactly is a Qliphoth meltdown? A Qliphoth meltdown is what happens after a certain number of works have been performed on abnormalities at a time. A number of containment units will have 60 seconds to be entered, or else the facility will lose some of the producing have fallen for the day. Additionally, if the abnormality has one, its Qliphoth counter will be lowered. And as you progress your stay in Lobotomy Corporation, the number of containment units that can go on a meltdown at a time will increase. Additionally, the amount of energy lost will increase in later days of the corporation. For you, this means to put those feet to work and get to those stations. You may never know what's waiting to breach. Moving on, we have ordeals. In replacement for Qliphoth meltdowns, sometimes events called ordeals may take their place. Entities even the corporation knows little about will enter the facility and pose a threat to you and your co-workers that must be subdued. The danger levels of ordeals are ranked lowest to highest by dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight. Dawn start on day 6, noon start on day 11, dusk start on day 21, and midnight start on day 26. For those of you worried about seeing midnights, no need to fear. The manager is always doing their best to see them as little as possible. Once we have a little bit more information on each of the ordeals, we'll provide you a presentation for that as well. So be on the lookout. Now, we're moving on to more abnormalities. In today's presentation, we're going to be focusing on the Teth category. And to start, here's F-01-02, also known as Scorched Girl. The Qliphoth of Scorched Girl starts at 2, and decreases under the following conditions. Okay work is performed. Bad work is performed. When the Qliphoth counter reaches 0, the abnormality will breach containment, and an employee in the facility will be marked by the Scorched Girl. She will seek this marked employee out until the abnormality either reaches them or gets suppressed. Upon reaching the marked employee, the abnormality will explode the nearby area, killing all employees nearby. It should be noted that each employee is marked with a match above their heads. If you find yourself marked by the Scorched Girl, follow the manager's orders and evacuate the area immediately. While suppressing the abnormality, it should be noted that they will make no attempts to fight back, so wail on it as much as possible. If you find yourself being sympathetic to this or any other abnormality, please make your way to the disciplinary team's Sephiroth. She'll be there to hear out your concerns, and put you right back on track. T-09-09, also known as Theresia. Being classed as a tool abnormality, it has no Qliphoth counter to deplete. When an employee activates the music box, the ballerina on top of it will spin and play a song that heals the employee's mental health. However, if they remain in the containment unit with the music playing for more than 30 seconds, the employee will become panicked. We've also found that the music also works outside of the containment unit as long as you've recorded it. Let's take a listen to that now, shall we? Doesn't it just soothe you? Anyways, let's not listen for too long, lest we want to go insane! O-01-12, also known as the Old Lady. Their Qliphoth counter starts at 3 and fluctuates under the following conditions. Decreases when another abnormality is worked on. Increases when good work is performed. When the Qliphoth counter reaches 0, a thick black fog envelops the containment unit. This fog, dubbed Solitude, will cover the first employee that enters the containment unit, causing the performed work to become bad. This now solitary employee will become unable to move, perform works, or do any action as long as the solitude is on them. Additionally, they will have mental damage until the fog goes away. Allow your higher leveled employees to clear out the fog before you enter, and try to go in as often as possible. All this abnormality wants is for her stories to be heard. Up next we have... Goddamn. F-01-18, also known as the Lady Facing the Wall. The Glyphoth counter starts at 2 and decreases under the following conditions. Okay work is performed. Bad work is performed. Attachment work is performed. When the Glyphoth reaches 0, all abnormalities in the assigned department of the abnormality will take mental damage regardless of their current location. Additionally, all employees with a prudence level of 1 are advised to not enter the containment unit, as they pose the risk to themselves and others around them. Now, for this next abnormality, we're actually going to have a space demonstration. So here we go. T-06-27, also known as 1.76 megahertz. The Glyphoth counter starts at 4 and fluctuates under the following conditions. Decreases when the result is okay or bad. Increases by 1 with a good work result. Increases by 2 when 12 PE boxes are generated. When the Glyphoth counter reaches 0, the same radio signal in the containment unit will begin to spread through the facility, playing over the loudspeakers. The employees that hear it will take mental damage. The only way to rid the facility of the containment breach is to recharge the Glyphoth counter back to 4. Once that's done, all affected areas in the facility will return to normal. Now, let's turn down this radio static and get back to a more normal presentation. T-02-43, also known as Spiderbud. This abnormality has no Glyphoth counter to deplete. When an employee completes insight work on the abnormality, or if the employee completing work has level 1 prudence, spiders will descend from the ceiling to encase the employee. From that point forward, any work done outside of prudence, of course, for the rest of the day will generate more encephalon to the day's quota. Much like we can change anything, we only use this abnormality as punishment for those employees that are working a bit lacklusterly. So stay busy so you don't have to get eaten by spiders. Next we have F-02-44, also known as Snow White and the Seven... I got you on that one. We like to have a little bit of fun here. Anyways, Cinderella has no Glyphoth counter to deplete. Whenever you complete repression work on this abnormality, it generates a very high volume of energy, but the health of the creature suffers. If repression work is performed a second time in a row, the creature will die, and so will the employee, and they will sprout into a new beast. You can return the abnormality to its healthy state, but you have to perform any other work aside from repression. Also, we have no idea why Sleeping Beauty looks like this. T-05-51, also known as Bloodbath. This abnormality has no Glyphoth counter to deplete. If an employee with Fortitude level 1 or Attachment level 1 enters the containment unit, pale hands will reach out of the blood-filled bathtub and drag the employee into the tub. Upon the employee's death, a pale hand will float to the top of the tub. Once 3 hands are floating at the top, the next employee to walk in will die, regardless of their level. Since you are now a level 2 employee, it's likely that you've had these stats raised. So work on this abnormality with no fear of death. T-01-54, also known as Forsaken Murderer. The Glyphoth counter starts at 1 and decreases under the following conditions. Bad work is performed. When the Glyphoth counter reaches 0, Forsaken Murderer will breach containment and begin roaming the facility. He'll deal red damage to anyone he happens across, slamming his now metal head against them. Suppress the abnormality on site out of the containment unit. Once again, another abnormality that is fairly easy to deal with. As long as you're performing instinct work on it, it will likely not breach. If you wouldn't interact with a murderer outside, then don't do it here. O-02-56, also known as Punishing Bird. O-03-60, also known as Fragment of the Universe. The Glyphoth counter starts at 2 and decreases under the following conditions. Okay work is performed. Bad work is performed. An agent panics inside its containment unit. When the Glyphoth counter reaches 0, the abnormality will breach. As long as Fragment of the Universe roams, it sings an ear-piercing song, dealing mental damage to those around it. Additionally, its physical attacks will deal black damage to those it strikes. This is one of our more pleasant to look at abnormalities. It is a creature that is just as curious of you as we are of it. Please learn as much as you possibly can from this abnormality. O-05-61, also known as Crumbling Armor. This abnormality has no Clifoth counter to deplete. When an employee performs repression work on Crumbling Armor, it bestows an ego gift to them. The more repression work they perform with Crumbling Armor, the more damage the employee will do, but they'll also have less HP. If an employee with the gift performs attachment work anywhere in the facility, they will be compelled to commit seppuku. Employees can remove this gift by getting a different ego gift and performing one non-attachment work somewhere else in the facility. If you wish to increase your battle prowess, this is definitely the abnormality for you. If you find yourself to be too emotional, please, once again, see our disciplinary team Sephiroth. Keeping it going with more combat abnormalities, T-09-77, the Heart of Aspiration. This abnormality has no Clifoth counter to deplete, on the count of being a tool. When an employee equips Heart of Aspiration, they get a boost to their fortitude and attack speed. However, if they return the abnormality before 30 seconds have passed, or they don't attack any creature, the employee will panic whenever they try to. Suppress the employee using white damaging EGO only. Likely, the most combat proficient of one of you will be assigned the Heart of Aspiration. During suppression acts, of course. During your long stay at this company, you will find that this is one of the longer use tools that we have. O-04-84, also known as Meat Lantern. The Clifoth counter starts at 1 and decreases under the following conditions. Bad work is performed. Work is performed in 40 seconds or less. When the Clifoth counter reaches 0, the abnormality will breach and hide in one of the halls of the facility. Watch your step. If you find a flower in the halls, use ranged EGO equipment to subdue it. Any employee who walks near that flower will be eaten and immediately killed by the abnormality. It's likely that it'll be hard to see, so the manager will be able to point them out whenever able. Trust me, no matter how cute and adorable it may seem, this thing is a monster. Much like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars. T-09-90, also known as Skin Prophecy. This abnormality has no Clifoth counter to deplete, on the count of being a tool. When the abnormality is observed in the containment unit, employees find their prudence status increased, as well as their vulnerability to mental damage. If an employee panics after reading Skin Prophecy, they'll be pulled into a portal below their feet and be considered dead. For you have read the forbidden knowledge, and those who are too weak to carry its will do not deserve to walk. O-01-92, also known as Today's Shy Look. This abnormality has no Clifoth counter to deplete. Instead of relying on the different types of work that we can do, we rely on the face that this abnormality uses for the day. The quality of the work is determined by the position of the face inside the containment unit. The happier the abnormality is, the more energy is produced. The angrier the abnormality is, the less amount of energy will be produced, and the more damage will be done to the employee throughout the work. The manager, again, will assist you with determining the right face. Employees are also advised not to try and look behind the curtain. For you will not find a face, but the absence of one. O-09-95, also known as Luminous Bracelet. This abnormality has no Clifoth counter to deplete, on the count of being a tool. Wearing the abnormality boosts the fortitude of the employee and provides healing. However, wearing the abnormality for longer than a minute while max health will instantly kill the employee. The timer for the abnormality resets anytime that this employee takes damage. Additionally, returning the bracelet without max HP, or attempting to take it home after the workday, will result in instant death. Of course, the company highly advises against theft, but this is one of those surefire methods that we use to hammer that lesson home. T-02-99, also known as Void Dream. The Clifoth counter starts at 2, and decreases under the following conditions. Bad work is performed. An employee with level 1 Temperance enters the containment unit. If the aforementioned employee enters the containment unit, they will fall asleep and be considered dead upon entry. When the Clifoth counter reaches 0, Void Dream will breach containment and begin roaming the facility. Periodically, it will shoot out projectiles through the facility, putting other employees to sleep as well. Do your coworkers a favor and wake them up if you see them. If the abnormality is left unharmed while it's breaching, it will return to its containment unit willingly. However, if you damage it before it returns, the form will alter, and then you must suppress it on site. O-04-100, also known as Grave of Cherry Blossoms. The Clifoth counter starts at 3, and decreases under the following conditions. Good work is performed. an employee panics in the containment unit. As the Glyphosate counter lowers, the abnormality will begin to blossom. However, whenever it hits 0, random employees and clerks will be drawn to its containment unit to be absorbed into the tree. The manager will do their best to knock the sense out of the employees. Clerks are expendable, though, and should not be saved by the manager. D-02-107, also known as Ppodae. The Glyphosate counter starts at 2 and decreases under the following conditions. Non-instinct work is performed. Bad work is performed. If the Glyphosate counter reaches 0, the abnormality breaches and transforms into a larger version of itself, which then begins to attack one employee. Upon killing one employee, Ppodae will return to its containment unit. While in containment, it does seem to be one of the cutest creatures that we have on here. Be wary, though. This creature is willing to gnaw on your flesh, so be sure to give it plenty of scritches behind the ear. Congratulations on making it through the Level 2 training presentation. You are growing every day, and we can't wait to see the progress that you'll make. We hope to see you in another presentation soon upon your next promotion. Remember, everyone, face the fear to build the future.
Warning. Training department Sephra meltdown. Level 2 reached.
I knew it. I knew the Sephra were nutcases. If Miss Haas can break that easy, then who knows when the rest of us will have a mental breakdown.
Hey, so Army in Black just broke out. Thought y'all should know that. Anyways, carry on.
And this is my cue just to end it. I'm enacting El Plan. Good thing I worked on backwards long enough today before the suppression got bad. I don't even know if it will work with my stats. One way to find out. Goodbye, hell. And hello to the infinite world of nothing. Where am I? A zoo? Did not plan on that.
Oh my god, my baby's in the gorilla enclosure!
Don't worry, I got it. Once again, the day is saved by me, Porch. Also, how did I get this email on?
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Tanghulu on YouTube, Lucent on Twitter, and my good friend Noodles that I met on Discord. They're the different voices that you heard at the end of that skit towards the end of the video. If you've heard of them, or if you know them, give them a little bit of love. I'm sure that they greatly appreciate that. This video took a little bit longer because I wanted to provide a short little skit at the end, as well as all of the footage that I got from the game. If you haven't checked it out on the Zayn video, it'll be here on the box on the left. If you're looking forward to more of the content that I'm producing in the future, please like and subscribe. Also, I do read a lot of your comments. Y'all showed a lot of love for the Zayn video, so I'm also planning on doing the other classifications as well. Be on the lookout for those, and have a great day. Peace.